While most of us are busy planning for the weekend, there's a tiny, tiny group of the world's wealthiest people who are, well, they're planning for the end of the world. So today we're going to dive into the absolutely wild world of billionaire doomsday bunkers.
It really all kicks off with one pretty chilling question. And no, this is not a line from some new blockbuster movie. This is a real question asked by a real billionaire. And it's this: how do I maintain authority over my security force after the event? I mean, just let that sink in for a second. So where does a question like that even come from? Well, the writer Douglas Rushkoff tells this incredible story. He gets invited to this super exclusive high-end resort way out in the middle of the desert. He's supposed to give a talk to some ultra-wealthy stakeholders. He figured, okay, I'm here to talk about the future of technology. Oh, he was wrong. Very, very wrong.
So he gets there and his audience isn't some big conference hall full of people. Nope, it's just 5 guys. 5 men from the absolute top tier of the tech and hedge fund world. These are, in a lot of ways, the guys who literally built the world we're all living in right now. And what they wanted to know is where this whole story gets kind of nuts.
They didn't even let him get to his prepared speech. They just cut right to the chase. They had one single focus, and all their questions were about this one thing they called the event. And you could just feel the weight of that phrase. So, what exactly is the event? For these guys, the event is basically the finish line. Game over. A complete and total breakdown of society. And it could be triggered by any one of these things, right? Climate change, pandemics, resource depletion. A lot of which, let's be honest, their own industries played a part in. This wasn't some thought experiment for them. This was endgame planning.
And look, that meeting in the desert, it wasn't just some weird, isolated thing. It was actually a peek into a much, much bigger trend. The super rich aren't just sitting around worrying about the future. They are actively and expensively building for a completely different one, a future where they can just seal themselves off from the rest of humanity.
And we are not talking about your grandpa's dusty old fallout shelter in the backyard. Oh no. We're talking about massive, state-of-the-art, even luxurious underground compounds. They're buying up huge pieces of land in faraway places. They're planning for private, military-grade security. And yeah, they've got the private jets ready to go at a moment's notice.
So, what's the deal with New Zealand? Why are they all so obsessed with it? Well, if you're a doomsday prepper with unlimited funds, it's pretty much the perfect spot. It's about as remote as you can get, it's politically stable, and it can grow more than enough food to feed itself. To them, it's the ultimate lifeboat at the bottom of the world. Okay, but here's where their whole seemingly perfect plan hits a major snag, a very human snag. See, they've thought of everything, the engineering, the supplies, the location, but what they can't seem to figure out is the people, specifically the people they're going to need to hire to protect them. I mean, just think about it. The second the event actually happens, everything that makes them powerful today, poof, it's gone. Their billions of dollars are just worthless paper. Their crypto is just useless code. In a world where the only real currency is food, water, and security, how do you keep your guards loyal? How do you pay them?
And this comment right here just nails their biggest fear. When society collapses, what's to stop the team of ex-Navy SEALs you hired from just taking over the bunker? When your money is meaningless, authority isn't something you buy, it's something you take, usually by force.
The solutions they actually talked about with Rushkoff are, frankly, terrifying. They're straight out of a dystopian novel. They seriously considered things like having the only combination to the food supply. They even brought up the idea of making their guards wear disciplinary collars. And the ultimate dream? Build robot guards before it all goes down. But see, even their biggest tech fantasy has this massive, obvious flaw. As this person points out, who's going to maintain the robots? You still need humans. The problem never really goes away, it just gets pushed down the line. It seems like no matter what they dream up, they can't escape their need for other people, or their complete and total distrust of them. And all this just shows this huge, strange disconnect. Because while the super rich are planning for their own private, custom-built apocalypse, the rest of the world is already dealing with the very real crises they're so scared of. The contrast is just, wow. This is what a real collapse looks like. It's not a high-tech bunker with a swimming pool. It's real human suffering. It's a pretty stark reminder that for most people on this planet, the event isn't some future scenario you plan for. It's happening right now.
Look at this number, 2 billion. That's the number of people who could face starvation from the global famine. after even a limited regional nuclear war. That's what the real stakes are.
And again, these aren't just these far-off, hypothetical boogeymen. The climate chaos that the billionaires are so afraid of, it's already here. It's already causing extreme weather events that have devastating consequences.
This isn't a simulation. I mean, just last year, this insane polar cold wave hit South America. Temperatures just plummeted. It wrecked crops. It threatened food supplies. It's the exact kind of thing that the event is supposed to be about. It's already happening.
So this leads us to the biggest question of all, right? What kind of mindset leads you to believe that running away from the world is a better plan than trying to fix it? A lot of this thinking actually goes back to this really influential libertarian idea, sometimes called the sovereign individual. The theory basically predicts that nations will collapse and this new cognitive elite will rise up using their resources to operate completely outside the rules of government. Sound familiar?
And that's really the bottom line here. For this specific group of people, technology isn't a tool to make the world better for everyone. It's not about solving huge problems like climate change. As Rushkoff figured out, for them, it's about one thing and one thing only: escape. It's like building a car just fast enough to outrun its own toxic exhaust.
It's this perfect, almost scary feedback loop. The hyper-individual, optimization-obsessed mindset that helped them get all that wealth in the first place, it's the exact same mindset they're using to plan how to survive the mess that system created.
And this is how a lot of people see it. This comment just perfectly sums up that feeling of being left behind. It's like they see the world as a sinking ship. And instead of helping to patch the holes, the people with all the resources are just busy stocking their own personal lifeboats.
And that leaves us with this final, really unsettling question. Their plans aren't just about survival. They're built on this deep, profound pessimism about humanity's future. But if the very people with the most power and resources to solve global problems are already planning their exit, who does that leave to build a better world for the rest of us?